Just a little bit. All right. Good morning, and welcome to this morning's Wuxing Long Pai Qigong, Taijiquan and Baguaxhang class, live stream class. My name is Jeff Cote, and I am the Occidental Taoist. As I mentioned, I'm moving my format on Thursdays to earlier, to the 9 a.m., so here we are. If you didn't get that on Tuesday or didn't know about it, this will still be available around 10 a.m. I'm assuming when I'm done. It should. It just needs to process, and then it'll go right on, and it'll be available for those of you who want to still do this at 10 a.m. That's fine. That's one of the reasons why I leave them up, is that people can peruse these at their own leisure when they have time, that they don't have to fit my schedule. But it is available here for people who do like to join me during this time. I've found and been told by many people that sometimes when they have trouble with the discipline of making themselves do things, if they feel like they have something they're connecting with at a specific time, it is helpful to them. So I try to have it move towards a consistent time. And I apologize for the shift in time. But as I said, I'm getting some classes and opportunities to come back, and I need to take them. Okay. So, but this will remain a part of my weekly process, no matter what, for those of you who have only connected with me virtually. So I want you to begin by aligning yourself vertically, kind of feel your center line, get that feeling of being suspended from above, relaxing down through the torso, opening up the back of the neck with the chin ever so slightly down, the shoulders relaxed and dropped all the way down to that lower dantian. Let the bowl of the pelvis catch the upper body weight. Drop it through the ball and socket joints of the hips, through the knees, into the triangles of the feet. Feel how your feet are interacting with the floor. Are you rolling out? Are you rolling in? Is the weight forward? Is it back? Play around with that. Move around a little so that you're in the perfect spot. Never assume that wherever you start from is where you want to be, or even whatever you think of as being centered is perfectly there. Allow the space and the mindset that anything can change. We're just keeping an intention to connect with these ideas, to embody these principles, and letting our body and the feedback we get tell us how close we are and what we can do to get closer. And the basic feedback is tension. If we feel tension, we look for ways that we can release that tension into the underlying structure itself of verticality, centralization, and calm and relaxed, centered and grounded. Whole and complete, our awareness emerges from the center, passes through our whole being and into the space. We're reaching out with our feeling awareness all around. Let your tongue lightly touch the roof of your mouth. Close the Ren and Du channels. And allow the eyes to turn inward and look at what you feel. Let that part of your mind that observes pay closest attention to the felt condition, looking at what you can't see, looking at what you feel. Now, for some people, that's easiest when they close their eyes, and you can do that sometimes, but I also recommend practicing with your eyes open and turning your eyes inward. Bring the hands in front of the lower dantian or on it. If you place on it, I recommend right palm first, left palm on top. That's traditional. And we're going to work with that compressive breathing, a Tizen Gong, where we gently jing draw up through the perineum, through the pelvic floor, the Hui Yin point. The urethral and rectal muscles gather in and kind of form a bridge with that, and that draws towards the Dantian. Meanwhile, as you inhale, you're firming the core, and the diaphragm is compressing down. Right? You're relaxing, opening the Ming Men in the back, and it'll almost feel like your abdomen is firmly condensing that energy, and it's going to naturally move towards that Ming Men. But don't force it. Now bring the hands out in front. As we inhale, let our awareness expand. We're going to expand with it. As though outreaching to receive. Exhale and release. Allow your awareness to drop back in. And as I inhale, I condense and compress. As I exhale, I release and expand. And we're just going to bounce. And counter swing. Column swing.
Stop humming and
And counter column swing. Huato's cultivation. So as we inhale, we bring our awareness from the lower dantian, along with that compressive breath where everything is gathering and moving towards that Mingmen. And our awareness will just move up to the chest as we inhale. And as we exhale, it's going to move back down to the lower dantian. Not trying to make anything happen, just doing the breathing patterns we know and watching the result. Stay relaxed, stay focused on release and free flow. Tongue lightly touches the roof of the mouth. A gentle Taijiquan at the base of the pelvic floor.
I'll be right back there to the bathroom. I knew where she was. I saw where she was. She was past. That's why I sat for a while. I was waiting for her to pass my chair. And my chair. Most likely it's going to class. Stop. Watch out. She's coming. Go. Stop it. What are you doing? You're working hard. You're just sitting and not moving.
Bring your arms out. Rotate them up. Now we're going to let our awareness move from the middle dantian to the upper and back down. We're not trying to do anything with the chi within it. We're just inhaling and moving. Always, when our hands go up, I got a sense of grounding, a sense of draining and dropping tension downward. And as I exhale, release. down. Inhale as the hands come up. Exhale as the hands move out. Then solar plexus.
that noise? Okay, nice.
And back up. And close. Shake it out for a second. And we'll continue on. Again, shoulder width and parallel, hands, wrists, and fingers. Other way. Elbows. Other way. Shoulders. And reverse. Fingers together, palms out. We've done this stance before. Now we're going to rotate the elbows under, palms up. And just inhale, like we're drawing in through the palms and the fingers into the right channel, right and left channels, and down. And release. Opening and closing the chest and shoulders. Trunk twists from the center. Patting the daimai. And the hips. Circling the daimai. And the other way. I use my hands to help me direct my awareness around the waist, around that daimai. And widen feet. Press the awareness and the intention all the way down to the pelvic floor and the ball and socket joints of the hips. Feel that connection through the yin channels here into the pelvic floor. How the yang qi and the yang tissue surround the lower torso, the legs, the hips, the pelvic floor, and draw up. And then, like you're drawing a bow in the ball and socket joint, just creating a little bit of space. Cycling around. Go around the hip this way. We can also go this way, across the pelvic floor, pulling that space under here open. And then around the hip. The other way.
Did you say we had to get back to class at 9:20?
And the other side. Pull it open. Go around the hip. Going this way, sort of around that ball and socket joint. Like pelvic floor, from hip to pelvic floor, opposite side. Just kind of opening up the space underneath. And then around and over. And then the other way. And both working together. Other way. Alternating. And back and forth twist. The other way. Always with that tailbone down, spine elongated. Feeling that lower dantian, pelvic floor, through the hips, through the legs, to the triangles of the feet and your relationship with it. Yin and yang on each side, and how it moves around it. And shake the legs out. Patting the legs. And friction rubbing. Put it together. Thought that might have been a tick on my leg. Sorry, wasn't. Thankfully, it wasn't. Small circles with the knee. And the other way. And deep bends. Check out the legs. Ankle and hip. Other way. Foot and ankle. Other way. Brushing the grass. Other way. Foot stays parallel to the floor. Behind. Other way. Shake it. Other side, ankle and hip. Other way. Foot and ankle. Other way.
It's actually a method.
Brushing the grass. Other way. Behind. Other way. And shake it out. All right. So one of the things I want to work on is some circle walking today. All right, it's another really great practice. You know, at the beginning, we worked on all these counter swing actions and this movement of the torso from the action and power of the legs through the body, how that can create this momentum. We've got to be able to, for the whole art, either Bagua or Tai Chi or any of it, the whole art, we have to connect that freedom and power and motion to the groundedness when we're moving in all ways, because we ambulate. And I want you to think of this not as a walking practice, but as an ambulatory practice. Just by changing the name in your head, you allow yourself to walk differently than you would normally. Eventually, when you've discovered a really effective and efficient way of moving, you can call it walking again, because ultimately you will want to be able to walk this way because it's effective. It's a good way to walk. It gives you lots of endurance. You can speed up or slow down as you see fit. But until then, let's just explore it as if we actually don't know how to do it. Okay? So we're going to feel that center line sinking into the legs. And all we want to do is shift into one leg and turn slightly to the side, just at an angle. Yeah. Then I'm just going to reach out naturally with where my heel would be. Then I'm going to sink my weight down and I want to sink my weight straight down. I don't want to sink towards the foot that's out. I want to sink down, let the foot make contact, and then slide into that leg. Feel that process. Did you end up exactly where you want to be in the center of the triangle of the foot? Is your center where you want it to be, or have you pushed too far? Right? We want to play around with this exchange. So we're going to feel the receive into one leg and expand through the other, back and forth for a moment, so that we have a perfect up and down relationship. and forces can flow through us easily and naturally. And notice where you tend to, like if you don't allow things to shift and change down in here and in here, then you're going to end up creating tension and building it up into the body. You'll feel it usually along the backside here and the hip. Instead, we want to let the leg feel like it compresses into the ground, and then it releases what's being compressed into the ground, and then we receive that from this leg. We want this feeling that our weight is underneath us, weight underside. All right, bring that back up. Step back to shoulder width. Then we're going to explore the other side. So again, we shift, receive, let everything fold so that weight goes right into the center of the triangle. Step out with the heel naturally. Right. Natural. Sink straight down to let the weight, then move the weight underneath. Back and forth. Just exploring that motion. Don't assume you can't relax more, you can't learn more, always. All right, and back. Now that's just setting up the distance and the step and the feel. When we walk, there are two stepping patterns we can use. At the beginning, I use the first one, lion stepping, where heel, foot, shift. Heel, foot, shift. The other was dragon stepping. In dragon stepping, the whole foot comes up, sometimes called mud stepping as well, skims the surface of the earth, doesn't quite touch, stays just above it, then the whole thing places down at once. So it's, instead of heel, sink, roll, we have sink, and then we stay something. So that first movement, instead of putting the heel down and then sinking, you're going to reach out, let the foot hover above the ground and sink until it makes contact. And we've got that shift. Now remember, whenever you shift, you're receptive and expansive. I prefer the dragon stepping personally for this reason. It connects me more with the idea of receiving through the front leg, because as I outreach, I'm outreaching to like reach out and touch the ground and draw myself and the ground closer to each other using the natural power of gravity. So it feels like I'm being pulled into the front leg. When I'm lion stepping, it feels more like I'm pushing off the back leg. Each one has its value, and play around with both of them and learn to try to let it be less of that. Less of its, what you notice most strongly. Try to notice the other quality, because they're always both there, yin and yang. But we want to be able to feel them in their various relationships and adjust them by the way we're going about it, right? The attitude and energy. Notice how much each one creates an inclination towards a type of action, right? And the mind-body state that generates. A lot of this is just about paying attention to how you feel physically, but also conceptually. Like, what is the feeling of this moment and my actions in it? How am I arranging my inner self to this action? Is it the same in each case? And when I first practice, and I don't do anything with I'm not doing anything else with the hands, I'll just place the hands on the lower dantian and walk. And so then I'm going to focus on that receive and expand. Now, when I pass, there's a lot of little pieces we're going to put together as we go along. At the beginning, I just want you to work with it, but eventually, don't get hung up on these things. Just work towards them. You want to let the leg brush close by the other leg, not quite touching, and the knees coming close to each other as you come straight through. Okay, whether you're stepping in lion step or dragon step. Okay. So the outer foot will turn, inner foot will go straight. So the first step I might turn a bit, then this leg goes straight, and it turns a bit, goes straight from that, turns a bit, goes straight from that. That's how we want to step. And our first change of direction, we're going to take the outside foot and make a T across the inside foot. Out in front, shift into that leg, and pivot out. If you're lion stepping and doing that, put the heel, then rotate. Heel, then rotate. If you're doing the dragon stepping, the whole thing cuts across. You can see why they call it mud stepping, because if you pick up the whole back foot together, it's like right out of the mud, sloop, right into the mud. And there's this rolling energy that's part of it as you become receptive and release. This release of the foot all together has this rolling energy. As you can see, when you get that rolling energy, it tends to make you a little quicker. And back. So that's a good practice to work with. All right, we got about 5 more minutes. So what we're going to do in this next few minutes is we're going to try to add some of these elements together. Now, I'm not advocating you only practice for 5 minutes. This is a class, so I'm trying to teach you a couple things to work on. Spend a good 15 minutes just doing a walk, just walking back and forth, turning, changing direction. Then we're going to take the most basic element of the upper body, expansion out and return in, expand out and return in, expand out and return in. Coming palm up, heaven palm, earth palm, heaven palm, earth palm. As we go, we've got heaven palm, earth palm, heaven palm, earth palm, heaven palm, earth. Heaven, I'm sorry, heaven yang, heaven yin. I don't know why I'm saying earth. Earth is a totally different energy. Remember, earth is that rounded. Heaven is heaven palm yang, heaven palm yin. I want you to notice as I step, first, my hand and foot, same side. So this is my left arm, left foot. I go up together, down together, up together, down together. This is just one practice. I want you to get a little bit of the roundness on the down. So it's not just linear, up, down, linear. I want the transition from heaven to earth, back to heaven, yin. You do not have to go this fast. Once you have it, I've practiced thousands of times feeling that transition. Right? Receptive, receptive, expansive, expansive, receptive, expansive, receptive, expansive, receptive, expansive. Receptive, see the leg and arm, receptive, expansive, receptive, expansive. And then we change direction, we switch hands. Close. For now, we're just getting a feel. I'm getting you to keep your hand here just for the sense of always knowing where your center is, always operating everything from your center. And we just did same side action. Here, here. Now we're going to get opposite side action, where when I step with the right foot, my left hand goes up. As I step with my left, so I get this across the body. And change direction. And close. Break it down. If any of it is confusing to you, slow it down. Break it down. Outreach, receive. Outreach, receive with the lower body. If you're connecting it to the upper. Right. Trying to connect the pieces, the individual pieces together as you go. And it's okay to like go, wait a minute, something didn't feel right there. So take something away, take the arm away. What is it? What is it? The stepping, where in that place is it challenging me? Right? No, this is all good. Okay, let's add in what's happening here. What am I not giving my attention and awareness to, or lending my intention to in the wrong way? Maybe I've got a pressure going in one direction because I feel like I need to creating that. Our whole goal always is the same: calm and relaxed, centered and grounded, whole and complete, alive and lively, as we do all of these actions. Okay. All right. Close. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. And as I said, it'll be a 9 a.m. every Thursday now. So 9 a.m. on Tuesdays, 9 a.m. on Thursdays. Okay. Again, if 9 a.m. doesn't work for you, I'm going to leave it up. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to process. Sometimes it's really fast. I've noticed, like, I've seen the video that I finish and they process it before YouTube puts it back out. It takes maybe 5 minutes, 10 tops. And then other times I've seen it take hours. And I don't know why. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe it's volume of other stuff they're working on. Maybe it's my internet connection. I have no idea. But know that it will be available. I will be filming it at 9, ending at 10, roughly, and then leaving it after that. You can find. And if you don't see this one, go to the previous one. Don't feel like that. There's a basic format that's common to all of them, as you know. One of the things I'm trying to provide is that base framework of important practice on which all our other learning is built. Get really good at that that grounding of the basic practices. Once those are really solid, everything builds off of that. Literally every skill, every technique, every movement, every Qigong, every mental practice, all of it, all builds off of the same thing. Okay. Anyways, thank you very much. If you'd like to support my work, you can go to my Ko-fi page. That's ko-fi.com/Occidental Taoist. You can leave me a donation. You can also find me on Patreon, my Patreon page. That's patreon.com/Occidental Taoist. And there I have a lot of video content that's exclusive. Remember, and you can also find me on Facebook. That's Occidental Taoist on Facebook. And I have some live streams, Qigong classes for the lunchtime lesson that I did, basically from May all the way through the entire summer. And as I get more, one of the things I've been doing is filming some of my Zoom classes, and there's oftentimes some excerpted teachings in there. I'll be clipping those out and distributing those as well when I find a really great teaching from some class that I've done. And I really like the particular lesson or the way I framed it, or I think that there's a really good demonstration or example of something. I'll clip it, edit it up, and put it out there for everybody. All right. Thank you again very much, and may you have many blessings of radiant health and a peaceful, happy heart.